All right, everyone, welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast. This is episode 58. Yes, that's right. There's been 58 episodes. Today, we're going to talk about Halo Infinite, since that dropped recently, and there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about. Also, I'm going to talk about Bobby Kotick, because that's a whole big thing, and I feel like it's a thing that has been a thing for a while, and now it's all coming out. And, you know, it's not just about video games. It's about CEOs in general, or people with a lot of money, the whole shareholder thing, and keeping people safe, and it's just a crazy world out there. But also, there's a cool new Gundam game that has come out recently, and I know that on my channel I've talked about Gundam Battle Operation 2 a little bit, and I touched on that a little bit. And then, you know, maybe I might talk about the Game Award nominations. I don't know, but yeah, let's get started. So yeah, crazy I'm doing this. The only reason I'm doing this podcast again is really I want to talk about games again, and I've had practice doing podcasting by... Well, one, in my full-time job, I tend to talk on camera a lot. You know, we're all now remote, although I've been for a while. But, you know, we're doing more meetings and things on camera. I'm getting used to talking to people that way. I also have another channel that's, I'd say even now, it's bigger than this channel. It's called Gundam Explained. You know, I really got into Gundam recently, so I made a YouTube channel about it because, you know, as a fan of Star Wars, yeah, I guess I'm going off on a tangent, I would want to look up Star Wars stuff on YouTube, and, you know, the stuff I want is there. There's even a channel called Star Wars Explained, and I'm like, oh, there we go. But when it came to Gundam, it's a new property I'm into. It's like a more realistic, I guess you could say, Star Wars in a way. It's a more grounded take on space combat, conflict between people, and then the ordeal, you know, with like Jedi and the Force. It's a little more grounded in Gundam. They have the element. They're called new types, whatever. Anyway, I've been getting into Gundam a lot. Not a lot on YouTube about it, so I decided to make my own channel, and it's been highly successful. I've been doing a podcast weekly on it, and I've gotten to the point now, I've done 18 of them, and I've kind of refined it to where I can quickly find a pocket of time during my day where I can just do a podcast and not put too much effort. Not that I don't want to put effort, but I have to take time away from, I got a family, got a full-time job, Gundam, but I have time to do this because I like to play games. I've always said this in previous podcasts, previous like weekend gaming here on my channel, where I'd rather play games than spend my time talking about them. But I also, sometimes when I'm playing games, it's like, okay, I can take a break. And if I have nothing else going on, I want to be productive. So here it is. It's pretty crazy. And I'm back with this. But Halo Infinite dropped Monday. It was pretty interesting because... at the beginning of the week, I think Pringles leaked something. Esports Twitter leaked something. Companies were leaking things saying that like the Halo multiplayer would drop on Monday. And that also coincided with the 20th anniversary of Xbox because it came out back in 2001. But I know I was there for that launch. I got Dead or Alive 3. That was mainly what I wanted to play. At the time, Halo wasn't a big deal. Until the multiplayer started getting popular. But anyway, yeah, it was just good timing for them to drop the Halo Infinite multiplayer, and I've been playing it quite a bit. And I got to say, just playing it, the feeling is great. It feels great. Just the controls, the aiming. There's something to it. Could it be the aim assist they're adding now? I don't know. Is it fine-tuned just right? I don't know, but it feels great. And, you know, there's other elements that make it different than the other Halos because they have the abilities. Some are the same. You activate it with RB. And one thing, though, that kind of makes it a little different, but it makes it modern, is the left trigger being that zoom that is really not necessary. But it's there because since Call of Duty, it's kind of been ingrained in our minds of having that left trigger zoom. And typically in Halo, you'd use the analog stick to click in order to zoom with your weapons. And that's still there, but this it's kind of that aim down the sights thing we're all used to now. Whether that's the assault rifle, the pistol, yeah, it's pretty interesting. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been interesting though because there have been a lot of people complaining about the. Let's see. About earning XP. So they changed some things up a bit where players can now earn XP by completing match-made games. So what was going on before was there's a battle pass. Now the games all have this, although I want to take a moment and say Halo 5 had its own system of this and it worked. It was requisition, but I guess the point now is to make it look like what Fortnite does with the battle pass, what Call of Duty does with the battle pass. So now Halo's doing it that way, where there's these challenges you can get, and then you look at the little horizontal bar of, hey, once you get to this level, you get this level, you get this, et cetera, et cetera. And so I guess what the issue was is you would play a round of Halo, you'd finish it, and then you would just get XP based on if you completed some arbitrary challenge. And some of them were defeating the purpose of the match if you were playing an objective-based game. Then players are trying to then do what they need to do to complete that challenge, and they're not doing what they need to do just to complete the game, complete the objective. It kind of ruins it for everybody. That's my take. Even though really the big deal is everyone thinks it's too slow of a progression system and it limits the customization. And I agree with that, even though for me that wasn't the main thing. I would be fine with it personally. It's just really to play Halo. But what it did was it made people play differently. They would play a Halo match just like if you had to get a kill with a certain gun in a certain way, people were just trying to go find the weapon and try to camp somewhere to do that kill instead of going for the objective. So they've changed it. I've been playing since they've made the update today. I'm trying to see on here if they have this little interesting document someone threw together. And let me get my old man glasses. This is how far the Bluecast has evolved. So they're kind of showing the old system and the new system, how it works. And yeah, even me, I'm getting XP at a faster rate. I'm now at level 5. That might not seem like a big deal to some people, but for me, in my situation, the amount of time I can play, that is actually pretty good. So I guess, I don't have many unlocks. I unlocked a color pattern, but I can only use it on one suit. I don't even have different helmets yet. You don't look like a Master Chief Spartan, which is a little disappointing. They should have some of that right out the gate, but they don't. But again, that stuff is not a big deal. The big deal really is playing the game and having fun. And I will say that it seems like the maps are a little slim, which is disappointing. I'm assuming they'll be dropping them with different seasons, although the season is supposed to last until May. Although this multiplayer is technically a beta, so it might be that when it's out of beta, which is when the campaign drops in December, maybe they're adding more maps or something. I don't know. I hope that's the case because it seems a little bare bones in that regard. I don't mind too much because, again, I'm more playing to play Halo and going back to it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's awesome. It's free to play. It's awesome that it's cross play. So you can be on, PC, Xbox. But not only that, but Xbox One, the Series Xboxes, PC with either Steam or the Xbox app on PC, but also xCloud. So this is another cool thing. I'm all about the cloud gaming, the potential of cloud gaming. I think it could be there. I first tried it with PS Now. Didn't like it. It looked like it was buffering the whole time. It wasn't smooth. Didn't care for it. When Stadia came around, and even before Stadia with Xbox Cloud and the beta, when I would be playing, it just wasn't smooth. It didn't really do it for me. Then Stadia actually killed it. I played through all of Hitman 1 and 2 on Stadia, 60 FPS, 4K, on my living room TV, Ethernet cable plugged in, so I was getting the high-speed internet, and it looked great. It played great. I thought that was really awesome. And so I'm like, well, the potential's there. Google's just pumping their money into the servers. And so I don't know why then when I would go and play on the xCloud that the games just didn't look good. So here's the thing. I've been playing Halo Infinite on it as well, a little bit, not as much as I'm playing, on an Xbox, or I played a little bit on PC. And again, it doesn't look that good on xCloud. It looks like it's 720p maybe. The thing is, though, it is super smooth. That's one thing I got to give it credit to, where I don't mind at all playing on xCloud. A good example of why I would play on xCloud was like last night. family, or my son specifically, was watching, my youngest was watching a Christmas movie in the living room, and I didn't want to tell him, hey, get off, so I just went onto my office computer, booted up the Xbox Game Pass app or whatever, played it. It was great. Some other times will be like, during my work day, if, I'm taking a little break or I want to throw in a match there or two, it's because of the speed and the accessibility. I can jump into a match and play real quick for about 10 minutes. And it just feels great. Again, if I prefer, I'd rather be on the console, but the potential on the cloud is there, and it's actually really awesome. So curious if anyone else has been using xCloud for that reason at all, been playing. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Something else I want to talk about, the controversial thing, it has to do with Bobby Kotick. So he's that Activision CEO, and he's been a CEO for a while. And, it's someone that I have not been a fan of for a long time. There's things Activision has done in the past, and a lot I can't recall, that I just didn't like his decision making, even though it made the company a lot of money. We can kind of see issues that are going on, and even right now surfacing between Blizzard and Activision, there's these issues that just have to do with the people, the culture, and culture starts from the top. It really does. And what's very interesting about this, and here's a news article that broke today: over 1,000 Activision Blizzard employees petitioned to remove CEO Bobby Kotick. So there's, sexual assault issues, not just under him, things going on, but him protecting people that are involved, him threatening someone's life. And I thought I had posted something. Here is an article of mine on the Blue Gamer blog. I still have it up. It's at adamblue.com, Blue Gamer. All my old articles are up there. It's almost embarrassing, cringeworthy to look at my old stuff. But back in 2010, I had this article, So Much Bad News in Gaming. And what happened was Ask Men. I wonder if that's even there anymore. No, it's not. It's not there anymore. But you can see the URL when you go on there. AskMen.com had this thing where they consider him number 16 most influential man in 2010. And I was like, he's no man. I went off. I was just angry. I was like talking about how he's not taking any risks. He's just doing what he needs to do to make shareholders happy. That's what he's thinking about, money at the end of the day. I was kind of mean. He's a sad human hiding behind the security blanket of money, playing it safe. And then I said, as history tells its tale, this practice in the gaming industry doesn't last. And what's interesting is, okay, so his actions, not to do with money, but his actions supersede, is that the word I'm looking for? The money at the end of the day. And that's something that, back in 2010, gaming, I think maybe was just starting to get to a point, or they had just started kind of before the movie industry, where it was really talking about how women were treated in gaming. And that was a big deal. And, at that time, I wasn't too sure, and it didn't seem like it was really affecting game studios. It is now, definitely. And really, it's not just women. It's just that's a big area that you can really look at easily. I mean, they're talking about lower pay than men. If a woman has done more in terms of their pedigree with being with previous gaming studios, the games they put together, moving to another company, and then just not getting paid as much, or just sexual harassment, or, the thing with booth babes and all that stuff, which some of that stuff can be cool and fun, but you really got to think of the people involved to make sure that everyone's feeling safe, really. And so I just think it's very interesting that I wrote about it back in 2010, and really just about how, it's not going to last. And here we are, where he might no longer be with the company because people are calling him out. And, at the same time, this does go to money, because people now at this time, when it comes to these social initiatives, are changing the landscape, whether that's movies, film, video games. When I guess Blizzard's not doing too well with their output, Activision hasn't been doing too well. The latest Call of Duty, I think, is one of the lowest selling in recent times so far. So people are kind of tired of the culture, how people are treated, and it's now being shown in the sales. And if you look at the actions Bobby Kotick has taken to get there, when he's just focused on money, when you're focused on not taking risks, when you're focused on what is the best thing I can do to make money, money, money. When that's all you're thinking about, you're putting your head in a place that doesn't allow you to do what is right for everybody. And that eventually means treating other people wrong. I'm sure a lot of the situations he put himself in to make him look bad were situations where he wanted to make sure the money was still flowing. So I feel like, I hate to say I'm happy to see this, but yeah, in 2010, I was just, something must have happened. There must have been some game, and I don't even know what it was, where Activision was just, their output was bad. All they're doing, 2010, I can't even think of, let me think, 2010 Activision games. Let's see, Blur, Singularity. Singularity was pretty cool. I mean, nothing cool there, but if list of, Activision video games, let's see. 2000 to 2009. So if we're looking at early 2000, we're getting, Tony Hawk Pro Skater's coming out, Soldier of Fortune, Vigilante 8, I like that series, X-Men Mutant Academy, that was cool. So, and they had the Star Trek license, Spider-Man. Obviously, the Spider-Man games, those classic ones were good. Blade on Game Boy Color, that sounds like something I'd be into. So then let's move a little, Blade 2. Ah, man, I'm a Blade fan. I didn't really play those games, did I? And then as we move forward, True Crime Streets of LA. I think I'm starting to remember some things. We had True Crime, excellent game, sequel, not as good, and then they kind of dropped off. That was a great franchise. But there's still some good games in here, actually. But yeah, then we start seeing, as we get into the mid-2000s, it's really IP-based. You get Spider-Man, X-Men. Interesting that Quake, was with them at one point. Spider-Man, Quake, the Tony Hawk series. Okay, Gun. So that was kind of a little original thing they did there. Marvel stuff. Yeah, Transformers. Okay, that's DS. Let's see. As we're moving on here. Call of Duty World at War. Okay, I remember when that came out. So now we're getting to where I think their output was really just like these. Oh, I remember being so disappointed with the James Bond games. Obviously, GoldenEye was great. I was a big fan of James Bond. That was probably one area where I think they had the James Bond license, so they just did what they can to milk it and not really make good games. And then you have like Kung Fu Panda, Madagascar, Call of Duty. So this is really where we're getting to the time, Barbie Horse Adventures, Rapala's Fishing Frenzy. I don't want to make fun of people that like the fishing. That seems like it's for people that are not really gamers. Maybe I'm wrong in that. Yeah, we're kind of seeing where, I like the X-Men Origins Wolverine. That was a good hit out of that. But and then Prototype. Yeah, they started having these cool games where then they stopped really making these original titles. Even Wolfenstein was good. Yeah, so you can kind of really see when you look at the later games how it's just a ton of sequels versus what their early output was. The True Crime series, that was great. Reckless, that was an interesting game that came out of nowhere. I remember that one. Yeah, and then really, if you think of Activision and all their old school property since the Atari, and they didn't really make any good use of that. And I'm wondering if there was just other things Bobby Kotick was doing at the time. Anyway, no, just really interesting. I'm going to just search again just in case on my blog if I spoke on anything else that had to do. No, probably not. Anyway, I just think that's interesting. The times we're in, it's like I've been predicting everything. But it's not like anyone would really listen, because look at all the money that Activision made this whole time for so many people. That's what people care about. All right, rant over. Moving on. Just want to talk about this real quick. I had that Gundam channel. on the side. And there's this game I've been playing. It's called Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2. Free to play on PS4 and PS5. I have some videos about it. I think I even have a video on my Gundam channel about it. It's just a great free to play Gundam game. It has really tight mech controls. It's like a third-person shooter, but it's deliberately paced in terms of movement, switching weapons, all that stuff. But what's really cool is that came out, 2 years ago? Or 3 years ago, I think. Maybe 2 years ago in the US, 3 years ago in Asian markets. They took the base game and made a single-player campaign story and released it on PS4 and PS5, and it's actually about $50 or $60. And what it is it's very interesting because if you're not familiar with Gundam, the anime property, what this game does is it has this single-player campaign, but it's presented in anime style. So it has an anime opening with the theme song, credits, the characters, and then there's a little bit of animation, and then you play the game. And then it has the closing credits, and they're done in chapters. So it's almost like a whole season of this anime. And, as a Gundam fan, I kind of understand the context of it. It takes place during the original Gundam 0079 timeline. There's just some Xeon outfit in California base. I think that's what it is. I forget. I haven't beat it yet, but anyway, it's just cool that that they came out with this because not many people, especially here in the West, really care about that kind of stuff, and it exists. And it's fun. It's actually super hard. That's something I like about it. It's just it is kind of difficult, and depending on the difficulty you play on and beat stuff, you unlock mobile suits and stuff and little items for your character because you have a pilot that has a shirt and pants and blah blah blah, and you get decals. You unlock stuff for not only Battle Operation 2, the free-to-play game, but stuff unlocks in Code Fairy. Very cool. Really good idea on their part. Really cool to see that. Yeah. That is that. Something's very interesting, too, in this, 18th? Yeah, tomorrow's 19th. There's going to be this Volume 2 that comes out. And the Volume 2 actually has what's called the GM Spartan. Let me look that up, actually. Let me show you guys that. Okay, so this GM Spartan is a suit that is going to be in that Code Fairy game. What's interesting about this was the inspiration for the design of this Master Chief Spartan that we see in Halo. And in this newest Halo Infinite, there's always been little Gundam references. And Gundam's just something I got into recently and found this out later. But they're on the Zeta Halo ring in the new Halo game. And Zeta is like probably the best Gundam series after the original. It's the second series. It's called Zeta Gundam. And it's probably the best series. But also one of the first color things you can unlock is called the Kuraba Sirocco. Kuraba is the name of the kind of the Earth Federation, or I guess more of the Allied Earth. How do I explain it? It's a group against the Zeons, or the Zeon remnants, or the Titans, basically. And the Titans are the good guys but bad guys. That's what I like about Gundam. It's very complex, but the story makes sense. And then, Kuraba Sirocco. And Paptimus Sirocco is a character that is from the Earth Federation, stationed at Jupiter, where they have these kind of gas resource reservoirs or whatever that they bring to Earth. And so they're out there developing crazy mobile suits. He was asked to come join the Titans, blah, blah, blah. And that's a lot of story. But the color scheme, too, is of the DJ. And let me see if I do Kuraba Sirocco. Okay, they even have that here. Okay, and they even, show this here. So, did someone post it? I thought there was a side-by-side somewhere. Because I don't know if I can easily show this. Open image, a new tab. Okay. I think I'm covering it. Hold on. Give me a second. No, but this is a DJ. This is the mobile suit that Amuro Ray, who I'm sure you don't know about, used in he's the main character in the first one. He shows up in the second one to help out as Kuraba in this suit. And the color scheme is supposed to match that. Now, I will say that this version right here seems very bright, where I think it's a little more muted than that, with the red, the blue, the yellow. Kuraba Sorako. Pretty cool. So as a Halo fan that became a Gundam fan, it's cool to kind of find out that there's this interplay between the two properties because they're fans of each other, I guess. So, that's that. Well, there's the Game Award, award nominations. Yeah, this is something that, look at this. The Game of the Year nominees are Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Resident Evil Village, Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart, Psychonauts 2. I mean, yeah, some of these games are fun, but there are so many interesting games that have come out. And is that really all it's showing on this one? Let me see. I don't read a lot, so I know that sounds bad, but look, when it comes to the internet, I go to a web page. If I see what I want to see, I'm good. If not, I hit back. Okay. What? No. Okay, so I'm going to pick something random here. So let's go to Best Indie. An indie game, okay? Hello. 12 minutes. Death's Door. Inscription. These are pretty cool. It's just that there's so many, and maybe that could be it. There are so many indie games to pick. I feel like a lot of these are just kind of like, well, they kind of had press because of maybe some backing they might have had. Let's look at Best Action Game. Back for Blood? No. That's not Best Action Game. Chivalry 2? That's fun. There's no way that should be Best Action Game. Deathloop? Again, that is an interesting, but no. And Far Cry 6? Really? Far Cry 6? Best Action Game? Returnal? Yeah, definitely Returnal. I hope that means Returnal's going to win. Maybe that was the purpose of this. Let's get Ubisoft, or Bethesda that's now with Microsoft. Let's give these guys some press. I don't know if these guys. Am I sounding cynical? I just feel like. But I guess at the same time, I like this. I know that sounds bad. I guess coming from a hardcore gamer like me, I don't like it, but I think this really celebrates games for the masses, really. It keeps gaming relevant. A lot of things they talk about are things that are more, I guess, mainstream. So, yeah, I don't really want to sound too hard on it. That sounded bad. Because, yeah, a lot of cool people made these games, too. Well, that's it. That was episode, what did I say, 58? I think I had something. Yeah, 58 of the Blue Gamer Bluecast. I can't believe we came back and did this. Maybe I'll do more. Was it 20 minutes, almost 30 minutes? I'd rather do this live with questions and all that, or talk to the chat. But there's always something to talk about with games, and so I'll tend to do that more. But anyway, thanks for watching. We'll talk later.